everyone, Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to DSG Talks. I'm Aman Faz Khan, and today we're back with yet another very interesting episode of DSG Talks. And today I have a special guest with me, and I have the Chief Operating Officer of DS Group, Mr. Zain-ul-Abideen, with me. Mr. Zain has ample experience in the renewable energy sector, and we're very pleased to have him on board. So without any delay, we'll hop into the discussion, and we'll be talking about how businesses need the solar transition in the current economy of Pakistan. So first of all, Assalamu alaikum sir, how are you?
Walaikum salam, Aman, I'm very well. Thank you very much. It's great to be a part of the DSG Energy Talks. I'm honored to be here. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for taking out time. And first of all, just tell me, how is it being here at DSG Energy?
Oh, it's absolutely amazing. बहुत अच्छा experience आ रहा है, and I believe the team is amazing. It's a winning team, and it's absolutely on the right track, I believe. And I hope DSG Energy will grow leaps and bounds in the future, near future, inshallah.
Inshallah. So sir, as I just said that we'll be talking about, since आपने हमें join किया है as Chief Operating Officer, आपका पहले भी बहुत ज़्यादा माशाल्लाह experience है in the renewable energy sector. You've seen it growing over the years. You've seen it evolving over the years. So if we talk about the current situation of Pakistan, so we're going through a time where it's a turbulence all over. I'll be using the word because it's like we are going through economy crisis, we're going through energy hikes, we're going to price hikes and whatnot. So how do you think that these recent times have affected the businesses in Pakistan, every sector of the economy, considering the energy changes, the power supplies and all?
I think you asked me an array of questions, so I will start with the energy crisis word, I believe. So I think the word energy crisis has been used for far too long in Pakistan. Going back around 6 to 7 years, I believe energy crisis. खैर हम उस चीज़ को कहते थे कि बिजली नहीं आ रही, लोड शेडिंग हो रही है, लोग बिजली के ना होने की वजह से बहुत परेशान हैं. सो आई डू बिलीव दैट एनर्जी क्राइसिस इज स्टिल देयर, बट इट हैज़ taken a different kind of form. So what I believe energy crisis right now is the fact that electricity is available in Pakistan. ऐसा नहीं है कि पाकिस्तान में energy generation या power की generation जो है वो lag कर रही है. So we are actually ahead of the power demand right now, which is currently in Pakistan. But the problem is more or less, I believe, in the transmission and distribution, and obviously at the consumer and at local distribution end. इसको tackle करने के बहुत सारे तरीक़ेकार हैं जो obviously government is taking a lot of steps into it, but I do believe there is a huge gap that is still there, which needs to be settled, and definitely it is also related to the circular debt that is currently in the energy sector of Pakistan. So as far as I believe businesses are concerned and the energy gap that there is to fill in, renewable energy is definitely something that we should look into, and solar is something that is very important these days. Considering renewable.
So I was just talking the other day that these are like crazy times to exist.
Absolutely.
That I don't think so whether every generation thought the same while going through it, but we are one of those who have seen a big pandemic. It was the year of COVID, last 2 years, and that definitely affected every sector, every domain. So how do you think that these 2 or 3 years that we've seen in COVID have affected the renewable energy sector overall and in Pakistan as well?
I think कोविड के टाइम से काफ़ी एक बहुत बड़ा एक डेफिनेट एक इफेक्ट आया है रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी सेक्टर में भी, और ऑब्वियसली इन द एनर्जी का. मैं थोड़ा सा जरा पीछे जाना चाहूँगा. एक वो ज़माना होता था पेट्रोल जो है वो 60-70 रुपए के करीब होता था और बड़े आराम से पेट्रोल डलवा के खुश होंगे. गुड ओल्ड टाइम. तो उस टाइम में एकदम पेट्रोल का हाइक आया था, आई बिलीव समवेयर नियर 2006-7 के करीब. आई एम नॉट एग्जैक्टली श्योर व्हेन, बट 100 से ऊपर पेट्रोल चला गया था तो हमारी हालत खराब हो गई. नाउ इट्स स्टैंडिंग एट 250 and I don't know where the economy is going. So
exactly.
But then again, as like you asked, I do believe there is a huge potential for renewable energy. पहले भी था, अब भी है, और वो रहेगा, because there is always an alternative option for energy supply. So when we talk about solar specifically, when we talk about businesses, I believe all businesses in Pakistan need to assess what exactly is their energy requirements. Energy requirement और renewable energy पे switch करने से भी पहले मैं अपने सारे viewers को ये भी बताना चाहूँगा कि पहले आप अपनी energy requirements को assess करें. See if you actually need to go for a renewable energy, or see if you actually need to have a transition into any other alternative source of energy. Start cutting down on your electrical usage. आप अपनी एनर्जी ऑडिट करवाएं. एनर्जी ऑडिट में देखें कहाँ कहाँ आप इलेक्ट्रिसिटी सेव कर सकते हैं. टर्निंग अ स्विच ऑफ लाइट बंद कर देना. इट इज अ वेरी सिंपल स्टेप बट इट गोज अ लॉन्ग वे. सो रिगार्डलेस ऑफ दैट I believe energy is a huge part of a lot of businesses right now. खास करके इंडस्ट्रियल सेक्टर या कमर्शियल ऑफिसेज की भी अगर मैं बात करूं तो आई थिंक एक मेजर चंक जो है वो एनर्जी के बिल्स के अंदर जो है वो जाता है. सो असेसमेंट ऑफ द एनर्जी इज वेरी नेसेसरी. एंड एक मैं एक स्टैट्स भी जरा थोड़े से शेयर करना चाहूंगा सोलर एनर्जी के बारे में. सो इफ यू कंसिडर सोलर एनर्जी टू बी अ पार्ट ऑफ योर यू कुड से energy mix, let's say for the coming 5, 10 or 15 years, if you put up a solar power plant and let's say you use it for 5 years and you scrap it, the actual or let's say for 10 years minimum, क्योंकि सोलर की लाइफ तकरीबन 25 साल के करीब होती है. 10 साल भी अगर आप यूज करें तो आई बिलीव उसका जो यूनिट आपको कॉस्ट करे दैट वुड बी समथिंग अराउंड 6 to 7 रुपीज. यही अगर आप 15 साल के ऊपर अगर आप सोलर पावर प्लांट को देखें तो वही यूनिट आपको 4.5-5 रुपए तक पड़ जाएगा. जनरली द लाइफ ऑफ अ सोलर पावर प्लांट इज अराउंड 20 to 25 years, which is actually the warranty period of your solar system or your solar panels for that matter. So if you consider a solar panel for that lifetime, I believe the energy cost that is being produced per unit by a solar power plant is hardly 3.5 to 4 rupees.
And that's a huge difference as compared to the other electricity sources that
I was recently with a client yesterday as well. He showed me his electricity bill in Karachi, and I believe the total amount divided by the total units came up to rupees 44 a unit. So this is actually what people are paying right now. So energy prices are crazy these days, and I don't see them coming any lower. So they're definitely going to go higher.
Definitely.
So just to add on one more thing onto this. So as far as the renewable energy mix is concerned, हमने हमेशा ये देखना होता है कि हमारी टोटल एनर्जी की रिक्वायरमेंट कितनी है, कितना हमने एक एक्स सोर्स से लेना, कितना हमने एक वाई सोर्स से लेना है. सो देयर इज ऑलवेज एन एनर्जी मिक्स, वेदर यू यूज डीजल जेनसेट्स, whether you use gas gensets based generation, whether you use coal fired power plants, or whether you used local supply of the national grid. आप वापडा की सप्लाई अगर यूज करें, so there is always the concept of an energy mix. So even if you talk about solar on an industrial scale, there will always be an energy mix. I believe one of our clients recently had I won't go into a lot of details, but there were 4 engines that were being used by a client, a gas engines around for 10 megawatts. I believe we installed a solar power plant, and eventually we removed one of the gas engines out of the equation.
And that's a huge.
So that's amazing. That's amazing for the industrial sector in Pakistan as well, and obviously reducing the consumption of gas has a definite effect on the economy as well, and the import bill, of course.
Exactly. And as I just talked about this, that I think when we talk about you very well explained how the businesses need this transition and how they need solar energy in their mix. But when we saw it in pandemic, it was a really an eye-opener for the people that how we need to cut down on our costs. So if we talk about businesses in Pakistan and industries in Pakistan, so this is a major factor for them कि आपका ज़्यादातर investment आपके energy में जा रही है. So if you are going for a good energy mix, if you're adding solar energy, so you're definitely saving a lot on your investment cost.
Absolutely. I think the pandemic was an eye-opener for the world as well, and I believe the world shifted to more of an energy intensive kind of work. When you talk about working from home, or let's say when you talk about an e-commerce or internet based working, then I believe energy is something, or electricity is something that needs to always be there.
Yeah.
बिजली के बगैर it's like we're going back to the stone age. आजकल आपका मोबाइल बंद हो जाए तो एंजाइटी होने लग जाती है, तो बिजली चली जाए तो it has
it's like दरमियान में से बिल्कुल लोड शेडिंग खत्म हो गई थी, तो we were not used to it. Now it's again started, so वो जो 1 घंटा लाइट गई होती है, so you're just sitting there waiting for your life to continue again.
I still do believe that बिजली आजकल जो जा रही है has more to do with the financial situation, and circular debt that is going on right now, rather than the energy or the power generation itself. So it is a different kind of energy crisis right now.
But in the middle, there was also these production houses were shut down and all. So I think
absolutely a lot of IPPs were shut down as well, and obviously due to the lack of fuel purchases in the country. And then again, it has a direct impact on the import bill as well.
Exactly. So if we come back to the topic, एक question जो मैं हमेशा सबसे पूछती हूँ, because we get that a lot from people. Now अब लोगों में काफी ज़्यादा awareness आ गया, but still people have this misconception, and I'll use their words. सोलर पैनल पे पूरी इंडस्ट्री चल जाती है. So how is that? How you can have the perfect energy mix, especially if we talk about businesses and industries, because domestic का लोगों को फिर भी समझ आ जाता है कि एक घर है, हमने 5-10 पैनल लगा दिए और चल पड़ा. So क्या industry और businesses के लिए it's a good option to go? How you can have a good energy mix?
So what I always tell my clients and my fellows, I believe solar cannot be you could say backup supply when it comes to the industrial sector. It will always be in an energy mix sort of form. So whenever, like I said before as well, whenever you consider industries or whenever you consider a huge institution whose energy bill is very high, so you will always go for an energy mix, which will eventually reduce your energy bill.
Exactly.
So when you talk about industry or rather commercial sector, it will always be an energy mix. So that I think is something that every industry or every business in Pakistan needs to look at.
And to make the answer more crystal clear, we have number of examples in our portfolio who are up and running on mega solar power plants. So
Absolutely.
I think that question remains no more. So it's my Pakistani urge to ask that what the government can do in this regard, because recently हम लोगों ने काफी policy changes देखे. There were taxes, there were no taxes, and then there were SPV की green financing was extended for the next 2 years. So what do you think that is government doing enough to promote renewable energy in Pakistan, and what else needs to be done?
I believe some great steps have been recently taken by the government as well. The removal of 17% tax on the solar panels, that was a huge step to take and to revert back. Secondly, I do believe the state bank financing scheme has had an amazing impact over the past couple of years. Since it was established, I believe more or less 80% of the industries who have actually gone for solar have been using the state bank financing scheme. So I think the state bank financing scheme was actually a game changer in Pakistan renewable energy sector.
Yeah.
And recently, I believe there has also been an input by the NTDC and NEPRA. A huge step was taken in the IGCEP, the plan till 2030 to include renewable energy generation and the use of indigenous resources in Pakistan.
Exactly.
So I do believe there are a number of steps that are being taken. There is still one suggestion: if anybody, any of our friends from NEPRA or AEDB do actually watch this video, I would like to add that there is a cap of 1 megawatt being installed on an industrial electricity meter that is supplied by any kind of distribution company. So the concept of net metering is you could say subdued, or you could say it is limited in an industry to 1 megawatt. Which does not exactly make a lot of sense, because when you talk about industries, the load starts from 5 megawatts. Big industries that go on for solar usually go for captive generation, but there is still a huge number of industries that would like to go for a net metering basis.
Exactly.
Especially those industries which do not operate on maybe Saturdays or Sundays, because out of the 365
they're going to save a lot this way.
Absolutely. So out of the 52 weeks, I believe we have around 104 days that are being wasted in the industries which do not use electricity on Saturdays and Sundays. If they go for a solar power plant beyond 1 megawatt and they have net metering, I believe that it will have a huge impact on their energy bill.
Definitely. I hope that's done. So thank you so much. It has been really interesting, this session. So lastly, I would like to have a final word on the topic of that how businesses need solar energy, how solar energy is the future of energy in Pakistan. So just your final word on the topic.
देखिए, इसमें मैं अपने सारे क्लाइंट्स को भी यही चीज़ बताता हूँ, अपने पीयर्स को भी बात बताता हूँ, चाहे हम घर पे हों या किसी ऑफिस में बैठे हों या किसी इंडस्ट्री में बैठे हों, एक चीज़ बहुत ज़रूरी है कि हम अपनी एनर्जी का फुटप्रिंट जो है उसको कम करें। एनर्जी, रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी के ऊपर जाना या सोलर के ऊपर पर्टिकुलरली जाना, सोलर पे एक्सपेंड करना एक सेकंड स्टेप होना चाहिए। हमेशा जाते हुए अपने कमरे की लाइट बंद करें। इट इज़ द स्मॉल स्टेप्स दैट काउंट that will exactly lead to your reduction in the energy bill. पहले अपनी एयर कंडीशनर्स की यूजेज देखें, अपनी मेजर अप्लायंसेस की यूजेज देखें एंड ट्राई टू रिड्यूस दोज यूजेजेस. When you optimize your electricity usage and you optimize your electricity footprint, then you should actually go forward to a step towards renewable energy, because that eventually will result in a very huge impact in your energy bill. And definitely after that, if you go for a solar power plant or a solar energy solution after that, the kind of energy mix that you will get, it will always be a very, very fruitful or a very positive step towards the business. And like I said before as well, कुछ ऐसे businesses ज़रूर हैं जिनका energy bill is one of the top you could say points in the expenses of that particular business.
Definitely, very well said, Zain. Thank you so much, and we'll be bugging you for more sessions in the future now that you're here. So thank you so much for taking our
Absolutely, it's lovely being here. Thank you very much, Aman, for having me.
So for those people watching, thank you so much for tuning in, and do let us know in the comments that what other topics you'd like us to talk about in the future. We'll be back with another episode next week. Thank you so much. Allah Hafiz.
Thank you.